Hey folks, welcome back to the Uncivilized podcast. This is Traver Boehm, your host. Today I'm grabbing the mic and doing a quick solo for you all before I head back to Boulder from here in Costa Rica. If you're watching this on YouTube, you'll notice the background here is a little bit different. I'm in an Airbnb for the last week here in Uvita, attending a freediving school. Pretty wild experience. I'll get to that towards the end of the episode. And I want to share some of the key takeaways that I've had from my 6-7 weeks here in Costa Rica, because I know that if you apply them or even just think about them, they'll help your life. They'll help you be more Oslide, they'll help you be more uncivilized, and they'll definitely help you feel more grounded and purposeful. So I want to share that I came flying out of Boulder, right? I had the American speed. I wanted to get here. I was moving so fast. And I wrote about this in my newsletter. My transfer flight was Denver to Houston to San Jose, Costa Rica. And on the flight, we got a little bit delayed, and the pilots came on and said, hey, if you have a transfer flight, they didn't say it like this, but like you got to move your ass. Like, you got to fly. And I had like 40 minutes to get to my next flight. And if you've been in Houston, you'll know it's one of those airports that you have like a long ass walk. Then you got to take a train. Then you got to take another long ass walk. So I thought I was going to be cutting it short. And people lined in the middle of the plane. They said, like, if you don't have a transfer, let other people go first. I jumped to the middle of the aisle. People were like, good luck, go, go, go. And I had my backpack on, and I flew out of the airplane, and I got about 5 minutes of power walking away and went, oh shit, something doesn't feel right. Oh, where is my suitcase? And I realized I just had like a terror moment. I'd left it on the plane. Now, I've been flying since I was like 7, and I've flown all over the world multiple times for business and personal, and I've never, ever, 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 ever left a suitcase on an airplane. So I went power walking. Actually, it didn't power walk. I started sprinting back to the gate. And if you know anything about me and running, like, I do not love it at all. And I'm not built for it. Especially now that I'm a little bit heavier. So I'm sprinting back to my gate, and immediately, boom, boom, feel both of my calves strain. So think about this. Like, there's a dude sprinting by you in the airport with a backpack on, who suddenly like seizes up and grabs both of his calves, and then has to like limp back to the gate. I get back to the gate. It literally looks like someone's poured a bucket of water over my head. I'm there with the flight attendant. I'm like, I left my bag on the plane. I left my bag on the plane. And she's like, well, you can't go get it until absolutely everybody has left the plane. And I was like, I got to transfer in 30 minutes, blah, blah, blah. A pilot came out. He looked at me and was like, did you leave your bag? And I was like, yes, sir. He went and grabbed it and brought it to me. And now I had to like power walk back. But I did end up getting my flight. I got to San Jose. And the next morning I was like, shit, I can barely walk in a town where I have to walk everywhere, but not a worry, because all I want to do here is surf. Now, here's where it gets interesting. I do not have a shoulder injury. I do not have an issue with my shoulders. I was benching 225 for reps before I left. I'm fairly mobile. And yet the morning I woke up to surf, that very first morning, I went to put on my rash guard, and I literally couldn't move my arm more than 6 inches off my body laterally. So to the side, like it's just stuck. It was stuck. I was like, what the actual F is going on here? And then it hit me. Okay, that's 1. That's 2. The jungle, which is very intuitive, intelligent environment, was telling me, slow the fuck down. You're not going to surf today. You're not going to run today. You're not going to speed up today. You're not going to bring your American enthusiasm and sense of urgency here today. You're just going to slow down. And so I did. And for about 2-3 days, I just chilled out. I didn't do much. And then it was like, all right, my shoulder works again. My calves feel okay. Let's rip shit up. And I got my surfboard and I headed down to the beach, and I got slammed, first of all. Surf was huge down there and I was out of shape, but I paddled out, got slammed, came back. I was like, cool, can't wait to do that again in like an hour or so. And I noticed this little tingle in my second to last toe on my left foot. I was like, that's weird. Now, I should probably tell y'all, if you don't know this is embarrassing because it doesn't make sense to me, but I have gout. I don't eat red meat. right? Sorry, I just lied to you. I don't drink alcohol. I wasn't eating red meat in Costa Rica. I'm very healthy as a human, yet like once or twice a year, my big toe blows up to the size of a balloon and turns bright red. And so for the next 3 days, I've gone from shoulder issue to calf issue to now I literally can't walk because my second to last toe is like the size of a small Nerf football. I went, all right, my idea of slowing down for 36 hours has just got extended. And it probably took me the next 2 weeks, literally the next 2 weeks of reading, of journaling, of working with private clients in my one-on-one intensives before my system, the entire system, had acclimated to the speed of Costa Rica and the speed of the jungle. This is a long-winded way of saying it will behoove you listening to this as it behooved me to slow down. Just to slow down. I didn't realize like how frenzied the normal pace is in the US compared to down here. And I live in Boulder, which isn't New York City, which isn't LA, which isn't Chicago, which isn't Detroit, which isn't even Denver. It's a pretty slow city. But I'm so wired for speed of like, I got to do it now, got to do it now, got to do it like, and not wired for patience that the jungle, as the exquisite teacher that it is, slowed me down. And I'll share one more piece with you. I told you I had 2 guys come down and do 2-day intensives with me in Costa Rica. And so it's just us, one-on-one, 2 full days, a little bit of surfing mixed in there, a little bit of ocean time, a little bit of meditation, but mostly it was just very slow, very deliberate work. And I credit the jungle, the ocean, my uric acid levels, my frozen shoulder, all the things with getting me to a point of being able to sit across from these guys and say, hey, we have the next 2 days. So let's slow down. And when we did slow down, all the things that were able to come to the surface in our work together to go, oh, that's the truth that we want to be working with. That thing that you talked about before, that's not the truth. It really let us slow down and get to a point where we got to do some deep, deep work together. Lesson 1, slow down. Lesson 2, and I'm going to try not to mix these two because they're social media-y. So bear with me. We did a post at the end of Men's Mental Health Month in June. You go on my Instagram, you can see it, where I asked gentlemen who've experienced the gut wrench of heartbreak, what kept the gun out of your mouth? What kept you from killing yourself? And I'll tell you all, I thought I was going to get about 30 comments. Because why? Men don't comment. Men don't speak. Men don't share, right? That's the narrative that we have around men and mental health. As of this morning, we have almost 1,300 comments. Now, yes, some of those are replies, etc., but 1,300 comments where men are openly saying, this is why I didn't kill myself. So one, I hope that pops the narrative that men won't speak and that men won't talk and men won't share about mental health. But here's part B of that point. Gentlemen, and everybody listening to this, the way that guys are talking about themselves in that post breaks my heart. The way men are speaking about themselves breaks my heart. And I know that's not a gendered issue. So my ask for this second piece on the podcast is, please, for the love of God, for the love of your family, for the love of all the reasons that men listed that they don't kill themselves, for the love of yourself, please speak kindly about yourself and to yourself. Do not call yourself something negative. Do not call yourself all the names that people are calling themselves. Like, man, one of my greatest gifts to myself, I think, coming out of the dark for the first time 10 years ago, was for that entire month I was in there, I refused to speak poorly about myself. Refused. Like, made it a spiritual practice. I will not talk poorly about myself. I will not call myself names. I will not tell myself I'm worthless. I'll not tell myself I'm a piece of shit, that I just made a huge mistake, that I'm a giant fuck up. None of it. And since that day in 2016, with maybe 3 exceptions, when I've like stubbed my toe or failed at something in business or the podcast, something, I have not spoken poorly about myself at all. And it is truly one of the best gifts I will give to myself on a daily basis, is that promise. I will not call myself anything negative. And I hope, if you take nothing else away from this episode than this, like if you want to just skip part 1 and skip part 3, but dive headfirst into part 2, start speaking kindly to yourself and about yourself. Because the world ain't going to do it. Social media sure as shit ain't going to do it. Man, was it a mind fuck to be down here. And I don't know if it's just my algorithm or if it's yours, but I am getting the most divisive, hateful content from men about women, from women about men, from religion about this, from like, it is just the most divisive stuff is being pumped onto my feed. And I'm waking up in the morning being like, good morning, awesome. You're the fucking best. Let's crush shit today. Look at you. Look at you kicking ass in the world. Look at you crushing shit. Let's make a voice note talking about how amazing we are. You call me arrogant, but man, I'm going to continue to do that for the rest of my life. And I have made giant mistakes that I'm more than open to acknowledging, but I will not refuse to unequivocally speak poorly about myself or to myself. So point 2. I know I kind of like blended those together. What was point 3? Oh yeah, point 3. Let me check my notes here. Yo, freediving. Has any of you done freediving? I don't know if you know what freediving is. Basically like you go in the ocean and you put on some fins and a mask and you try to go as deep as physically possible. That's freediving. I have done it once, maybe. I did it to spearfish in Santa Barbara when I was living there. But it intrigues the shit out of me. It's like shibari and knife making. It's like, oh, here's something that I could be good at, but I'm probably not. I'm definitely overestimating how hard it is. Let me give it a try. And so I signed up for this 4-day freediving course here in Ovita. It's the Free Dive Ovita. Amazing, amazing instructors. And realized that, holy crap, I think I'm chill. I think I'm zen. I meditate a lot. I spent 49 days in a pitch black room. And yet you get me to the 6 or 7 meter mark underwater, at least on day 1. And I have one thought that's like, I don't know if we're going to get out of this. And my body goes into a 5-alarm fire. And now we've worked down to 10 meters, 15 meters, which still, that's like 45 feet underwater. Right. And don't forget, you still got to kick back up. And the amount of stress and chaos and stuff happening in my body at 15 meters is monumental. And so I asked my instructor, like, how deep have you gone? Right. You know, I thought maybe like 20, 25. And he's like, well, I hold the Costa Rican national record at 65 meters. 65 meters. That is like, that's like different. It's like black belt level, you know, and I'm a white belt. And he goes, yeah, it's impressive, huh? But you know what the world records are is like 190 meters or something like that. Like completely different world. Anyway, I'm telling you all this because what it taught me is just how quickly one thought changes my physiology down there. When you get down 10 meters deep, 12 meters deep, 30, 40 feet, and think, there's water in my mask. I wonder if that's a bad thing. How instantly, poof, all the zen, all the calm, all the chill goes. And it's like instinct just kicks in. Like, get back to the damn surface right now. And I think that's applicable for real life, for out of the water life too. And it kind of feeds with what I was saying in number 2 of speak kindly to yourself, speak compassionately to yourself, think kindly to yourself, think compassionately about yourself. Be hyper vigilant about your thoughts, you guys. When I created Uncivilized, it was to help men live better lives. That was the whole point of the entire movement. Help men live better lives. Now we have Olslai, right? One life, soul led, all in. Now we have a co-ed idea that's very similar of how do you get in touch with your soul? But both of those, whether you are a man trying to live a better life or you are whomever trying to live a more soul-led life, realizing the power of a single thought is going to be monumental across the board. You don't have to go down 15, 20 meters in the water to realize this. Just ask yourself how often one thought, like, I don't know if my business is going to make it. I don't know if this course is going to launch. I don't know if I'm going to lose the weight I want. I don't know if my marriage is going to such and such. Man, it was a radical lesson for me in thinking I was doing the right thing, holding a thought, and then boom, instantly how quickly my body, which I carry around all day long, I carry into business meetings, I'm using on the podcast here, I use in relationship, I use in friendship, I use sexually, I use physically, I use jiu-jitsu wise, I use surfing wise, just how responsive my body and your body is, excuse me, to a single thought. Amazing, huh? So I hope the lesson of this, if we put these all three together, it's slow down so much so that you can hear what you're saying to yourself and you can feel what you're thinking about yourself and about your life. That's what Costa Rica has reminded me over and over and over again. Slow down so that you can hear what you're saying to yourself and about yourself, and you can feel what you're thinking about yourself and about your life. Right? I love this country. I love the beach here. I love the jungle here. I love that I've driven a little 50 motorcycle around all day long. I love that I get to surf. I love that I get to dive. I love the people here. It's a different psychographic of human. I love the heat. It's just a beautiful, beautiful place. And it's not where I live full time. So I'm going to take these lessons back to where I live and apply them. And I hope you do too. Okay. Thank you for joining this. I'm going to pitch a couple things here. I have a workshop coming out in November called Deep Waters. It is men only. We only have 6 more spots. It is a medicine journey. So if you're interested in that, it is the medicine journey on day 1, and then 5 days of deep masculine integration and work with me for the rest of the 5 days. I've partnered with someone on this. It is in Costa Rica. Please email me, traver@traverboehm.com, and let's talk about it. And if you're curious about doing an intensive and doing the two-day work that I mentioned earlier, that was so damn powerful. You can email me at the same address or traver@manuncivilized.com. Okay. Have a kick-ass rest of your day. Cheers.